Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's been a while. Life has been kind of busy, but I'm trying to bring things, and the alternate Super Bowl for May that should have been brought to May will be you. Now, in the past, I've shown my cell phone looking at the helmets, and I've read the conference championship games in reverse. I'm going to do that still at the end of this video. Instead of showing the helmets, we'll be looking at the Super Bowl. Now, what I've done, I've already gone and created the rosters for San Diego and Dallas. They're the two teams that will meet in alternate Super Bowl 15. At the same time, I've gone to get as many wins and losses as they did in 1980. As you can see here, the Chargers are going to win week 1 and the Chargers are going to win week 2. And it's set up so they have the same amount of wins. Now, the conferences and the divisions are all different. So, playoffs, plus there's more playoff teams nowadays than there was. So, week. But what we're going to do, we're going to we can sim to mid-season, and we'll see how we're doing after 8 weeks. And while this is happening, I will load up. Now, I don't have the rosters in front of me, so I'm gonna try and do the best I can at taking the conference championships, the originals. Oh, we're already at week 8. No, I thought it said sim to mid-season. Hold on a second. Oh, that's why I didn't push that. Okay. No, sim to mid-season. You'll have to forgive me. Sim ahead. All right. So we'll go to week 8, and then in the meantime, 1980-81 NFL playoffs. All right. Conference championships. January 11th, 1981. AFC Championship game, Oakland Raiders, San Diego Chargers. Now, in real life, the Raiders won, become the first wildcard team since the name wildcard was created to advance to the Super Bowl and win it on the AFC side. The 1975 Dallas Cowboys were a wildcard team that didn't have to play a wildcard game, and the 1969 Kansas City Chiefs were also technically a wildcard team, but they didn't call them wildcards back then. Scoring summary. No, all right. Let me try and read this, remembering to reverse the names. San Diego built a 28-7 first half lead, but had to hold off a furious comeback attempt to advance to their first Super Bowl. In the first 6 passes for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also rushing for a score. On the third play of the game, Phelps threw a pass that bounced off the hands of wide receiver for the Chargers, Ron Smith, and into the arms of tight end. Well, Kellen Winslow wasn't there, so who was the tight end? Tight end. Oh, I don't need to go there. I got the roster right in front of me right here. Where's the tight end? Oh, it is Kellen Winslow. Oh, yeah, he wasn't there in 79. So in the hands of Kellen Winslow, who took off in the end zone for a 65-yard touchdown reception. The Raiders seemed primed to respond as Jim Plunkett completed a 55-yard pass to Cliff Branch on their first play of the next drive. But San Diego defensive back, Glenn Edwards, who recorded, that's about, picked off a pass from Plunkett and returned it 16 yards to the Chargers' 25-yard line. However, the Raiders defense forced a punt, and Plunkett made up for his mistake on the next possession, hooking up with another Raiders receiver. See, I can read this better if I'm in here anyway. You have to forgive me. It's the first month I'm doing it this way. Oh, I didn't rename the Raiders, so they wouldn't. I wouldn't have them anyway. I'll try and do better next week, guys. So anyway, he hooked up with Raiders wide receiver. We'll say Cliff Branch again because I remember that name, for a 40-yard touchdown to tie the game at 7. San Diego stormed back with 21 unanswered points. First, Phelps' 48-yard completion to receiver. Now, see, I do have the Chargers, so. To receiver John Jefferson. on 3rd down and 20 off of 7-play, 76-yard drive that ended with his 5-yard touchdown run. Then the Chargers defense forced a punt, and it was returned 14 yards to the Raiders' 49-yard line. 4 plays later, Fouts' 21-yard touchdown pass to Charlie Joyner. I lost my space. Charlie Joyner made the score 21-7. With 1:35 left in the first quarter, Oakland took the ball back and drove to the Charger 21-yard line, featuring a 28-yard completion to the tight end. From the tight end to wide receiver Cliff Branch on a trick play, but Chargers safety Pete Shaw ended the drive with an interception. Following a punt, Oakland running back Kenny King lost a fumble that was recovered by Charger linebacker Bob Horn, on the Raiders' 29-yard line, and the Chargers capitalized with Fouts' 23-yard completion to Joyner, leading to another touchdown. This one on a 3-yard run by, I forgot the running back's name. Chuck Muncie, to build a 28-7 lead. Following a Raiders' 27-yard kick return, Oakland drove 64 yards in 13 plays, including a 24-yard reception by Branch to score on a Jim Plunkett 8-yard touchdown pass to Kenny King to cut the deficit to 28-14 with 1:05 left. The Raiders continued to cut away the Chargers' lead in the second half, driving 68 yards in 12 plays on their opening drive. 2 drop passes by Branch in the end zone spoiled their chances for a touchdown, setting up a 26-yard field goal to cut the lead to 28-7. Their defense forced a punt, which was returned 28 yards to the Chargers' 41-yard line. From there, Oakland took the ball all the way to the end zone, scoring on a 7-play drive that ended on Kenny King's 6-yard touchdown run, cutting the deficit to 28-24. San Diego responded with a 68-yard drive, including a 22-yard completion from Fouts to Muncie, leading to a Ralph Benerski 27-yard field goal to retake the 7-point lead. Then after a 3-and-out, Oakland took over at the San Diego 49, where the Chargers added a 33-yard field goal from Benerski to increase their lead to 33-24 with 9:46 left in the game. The Raiders then countered with a 72-yard drive, ended with Barr's 27-yard field goal. The Chargers defense was exhausted, and they implored their offense by saying, "Don't let them have the damn ball back." The Chargers then held on to the ball for the last 6:52 of the game with a 15-yard play, 12 runs, 1 pass, and 2 quarterback kneels, with Dan Fouts scrambling twice on 3rd down to pick up key first downs to clinch the victory. Fouts finished the game completing 14 of 18 passes for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. Charlie Joyner caught 5 passes for 102 yards and a touchdown. Plunkett threw for 336 yards and 2 scores, but was intercepted twice. And Cliff Branch caught 6 passes for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's take a look at the standings and see how we are at mid-season standings. Okay, right now in the AFC, if the playoffs started today, San Diego would have home field. The New England Patriots would have the other first-round bye, with the Cleveland Browns winning the North and the Houston Oilers winning the South, and your wildcard teams would be the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. Not quite perfect, as Oakland was in the playoffs, obviously. But, you know, it's only midway. Let's look at the NFC. You've got the Atlanta Falcons having home field advantage, just as they did in real life. The Philadelphia Eagles getting the other first-round bye. The Minnesota Vikings winning the North. And who the Falcons? So the Arizona Cardinals or St. Louis Cardinals winning the West. You'll have to forgive me, I got a phone call, so Okay, sorry about that. I got a phone call that I couldn't ignore. So, meanwhile, let's take a look at how after 12 weeks the playoffs look. The San Diego Chargers have home field advantage with the New England Patriots getting the other first round bye. The Cleveland Browns win the North, and the South is right now controlled by the Houston Oilers, with your wildcard teams being the Oakland Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Buffalo made the playoffs in 1980. They're currently not in the playoffs yet. We got 6 weeks left. In the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys hold home field advantage. The Atlanta Falcons have the other first round bye. The Philadelphia Eagles, that's a wildcard team. The Los Angeles Rams win the West, and the Minnesota Vikings win the North, and your other wildcard team being the St. Louis Cardinals. So right now, the original 5 teams that were in the playoffs, Vikings, Rams, Falcons, Eagles, and Cowboys, are, with the extra team being the Cardinals. Let's simulate the next 4 weeks and see how we're doing. We can only go 1 week at a time now because either sim to mid-season or sim to the playoffs. Once we're guaranteed that Dallas and San Diego clinch playoff spots, we're good to go. So let's we'll do 4 more weeks, weeks 12, 13, 14, 15, and then with 2 weeks left, we'll look at what we've got, and then I'll read the NFC Championship, which was Dallas and Philadelphia. And I don't have either one of those rosters done, so I think next month I'll have my laptop computer open when I do this, so I don't make as many mistakes reading to you the conference championship. But hopefully you like this version better, watching it through the PlayStation than watching it through my handheld cell phone. Also, I'm going to try and get alternate Super Bowl 16, since it's also the Chargers and Cowboys, done within the next couple of weeks, so I'm back caught up to where I was, at least on the current month. Alright, after 15 weeks, with 2 weeks to go, your AFC looks like this. San Diego has home field advantage. They have not technically clinched the playoff spot yet. The Cleveland Browns have the other first round bye, which is interesting as that they were 1-2 in 1980. The Buffalo Bills lead the AFC East as they won the AFC East in 1980. And the Houston Oilers lead the AFC South. They were a wildcard team. The other wildcard team was the Raiders, and your extra team in the playoffs being the New England Patriots. That seems to fit because New England was 10-6 in 1980, so we'll see how that goes. In the NFC, the Atlanta Falcons, who were home field advantage in real life, are the home field advantage right now and have clinched the playoff spot. The Philadelphia Eagles have clinched their division. They won the NFC East in 1980, so that works. The Minnesota Vikings won the NFC Central. They are currently clinched the playoff and lead the NFC North. And the Los Angeles Rams, who were a wildcard team, are leading the NFC West. The original NFC West champions were the Falcons. They're in the NFC South now, so that makes sense. The Cowboys are a wildcard team, as they were in 1980, and your extra wildcard team currently being the Chicago Bears. 2 weeks to go. We'll go 1 week at a time now to finish the 2 weeks. And then I'll read to you the NFC Championship game. And then we'll see how that goes. All right. San Diego's clinched the playoff spot, so we're good there. Dallas also clinched. Raiders, San Diego's 12-3. Right now, the Patriots, they got an extra win somehow. I'm not perfect. As long as it's the Chargers and Cowboys get in the playoffs, we can make sure they win their games. The Cowboys are in. So let's do the last week, and then we will move on to the playoffs, and I'll read you the NFC Championship and show you how the Cowboys got to Super Bowl 15 instead of the Eagles. Oh, see, the wrong team won the AFC West. Well, this is an alternate reality, so that's fine. Alright, so Raiders win the AFC West. Chargers are going to end up as a wildcard team. The Oilers will get the other first round bye, with the Patriots winning the AFC East. The Browns and Steelers are your wildcard teams, and the Buffalo Bills don't even make the playoffs like they did in the real life. In the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles get home field advantage. The Falcons will get the other bye. That's kind of reversed from how it really happened. Cowboys are wildcard team. Rams and Vikings will host wildcard games, and Detroit becomes your extra team in the playoffs. So, the NFC Championship game. In real life, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys. This is how it goes in the alternate life. Although Dallas quarterback Danny White completed only 9 of 29 passes for 91 yards and was intercepted twice, running back Tony Dorsett led the Cowboys to a victory by rushing for 194 yards and a touchdown. Dallas had been the highest scoring team in the NFL during the regular season, but against the Eagles defense, well, I can't reverse that, so let's skip that. Philadelphia was forced to a 3-and-out on their opening drive, and the kick from their punter went just 26 yards. It was returned to the Eagles' 42-yard line. One play later, Dorsett scored on a 42-yard rushing touchdown. The Cowboys earned themselves chances to score on their next 2 drives. However, they were stopped both times, and their special teams unit failed to capitalize. First, they drove to the Philadelphia 23-yard line, only to have Raphael Septien's field goal attempt blocked by Philadelphia cornerback. And then they drove to the Eagles' 16-yard line, where White was sacked on 3rd down, and a high snap on the field goal sailed right through the holder's hands. Midway through the second quarter, Jaworski, who had been held to negative passing yardage, finally got the Eagles going on a 10-play, 68-yard drive, completing an 18-yard screen pass to Wilbert Montgomery and a 12-yarder to Harold Carmichael, before Montgomery wrapped it up with a 3-yard touchdown run to tie the game. The score remained 7-7 at half due to another blown scoring chance by the Cowboys when White's touchdown pass to Drew Pearson was canceled out by a 15-yard personal foul penalty on the guard. In the third quarter, the first turnover of the game occurred when Dallas recovered a fumbled punt before Philadelphia quickly took the ball back with an interception by Herman Edwards. But they only held on for a few plays before Jaworski lost a fumble due to a massive hit from Randy White, which defensive end Harvey Martin recovered on the Philadelphia 11-yard line to set up a field goal by Septien. Philadelphia seemed to be in position to respond when their tight end made a leaping catch on the Cowboys' 40-yard line for a 28-yard gain, Jaworski's longest completion of the day. On the next play, the cornerback stripped the ball from Montgomery, and linebacker Mike Hegman returned it 22 yards to the Philadelphia 38-yard line. 6 plays later, that is the Eagles. Robert Newhouse scored on a 9-yard touchdown to give the Cowboys a 17-7 lead. Later on, Dorsett's 55-yard carry put the Cowboys in position to put the game away. But Eagles' Herman Edwards intercepted another pass from Danny White in the end zone. Despite that, the Eagles' offense was still unable to move the ball for the rest of the game. The Eagles never made it into Cowboy territory, and after Dallas put together a 62-yard drive to score the final points of the game on Septien's 20-yard field goal with 2:10 remaining, I did do the Cowboys roster. I just realized that. I had to have, because they're in the game. 20-yard field goal with 2:10 remaining. Another pass was intercepted on the final play, and the Cowboys advanced to the Super Bowl. All right. Dorsett finished the game with more all-purpose yards of 208 than the entire Eagles offense. So the Cowboys advanced to their 5th alternate Super Bowl, winning Super Bowls 1, 2, 7, and 8. They are 4-0. The Chargers advanced to their first ever alternate Super Bowl. And let's get this game. So this is how we do this. You got to make sure that the Chargers and Cowboys win. So we see the Chargers are on the road. We want to force an away win. The Cowboys are on the road, so we want to force an away win. The Rams didn't win. Neither of those two teams made the playoffs, so it doesn't matter who wins those games. So let's go to advance week, forced advance. So, we are in the divisional playoff schedule. The Raiders have them win since they were really in the AFC Championship. Well, we got to have the Cowboys win this one. The Chargers win this one. And this one, well, it doesn't really matter, but what the hell, we'll put the Falcons in the NFC title game. So Cowboys are away, Chargers are away. Okay. So we're going to have the same AFC title game, and the NFC will go to, due to rules limiting divisional teams playing in the divisions, where modern rules allows that. You get some different matchups when you do it this way. But hey, what are you going to do? So now for the AFC title game. So, both away teams need to win. I hate to do that to the Falcons, but hey, it is what it is. Okay. And it being Super Bowl 15, the NFC is home. Bob Rushers are available to play again. Well, that's good. The injuries were turned off. I thought they were turned off. Unless he'd been injured since last year's. I don't know. So let's make sure that, nope, well, this will do it anyway. Go to postseason. There you go. That's the Super Bowl. San Diego Chargers versus Dallas Cowboys. Again, like I said, we will simulate that game either tomorrow morning or tomorrow night, depending on how things work out. And until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching on this alternate Super Bowl preview. I will try and improve it as the months go. And until next time, I'm Vinny Vincent, and you're not.